Hello, my amazing children. This is Grandma Carla, and I am going to read you another Cynthia Rylant book, Poppleton in Winter. And there's a whole Poppleton series, so we'll get to read quite a few little Poppleton books. Poppleton in Winter. Poppleton's house grew very long icicles in the winter. Poppleton was proud of them. He never knocked them down. He just let them get longer and longer. Gus, the mail carrier, said, "Poppleton, you should do something about those icicles." There's Poppleton. You can notice Poppleton is a pig, isn't he? And there's the mail carrier, Gus. Hudson down the street said, "Poppleton, those icicles are not pretty." And when Poppleton's mother visited, she said that an icicle was surely going to bonk him on the head. So there's Poppleton talking to Hudson, and there's Poppleton's mother who came to visit. They're all telling him to get rid of the icicles. But Poppleton didn't listen to any of them. He loved his icicles. Each morning he took a ruler outside to see how much longer they had grown. Then one day, a little finch wasn't watching where he was going. He ran into one icicle, and that one fell into the next one, which fell into the next one, which fell into the next one. There's Poppleton measuring his icicles with a ruler. And there's the poor little finch who hurt his head by running into one icicle. But then that icicle ran into the next one and the next one. And soon, all of Poppleton's icicles were lying on the ground. Poppleton was sad. The little finch felt so bad. "I am very sorry," he said. "It's all right," Poppleton said politely. "Maybe we could build something with them," said the finch. "Build something?" asked Poppleton. "Sure," said the finch. "The icicles are still frozen. We could make them into something." So there's Poppleton looking at his icicles all over the ground. And there's the finch trying to say, "Can we build something out of them?" Poppleton and the finch worked all day long. And by evening, Poppleton had the most beautiful picket fence in the town. Look at his fence made out of icicles. "Would you like to stay for dinner?" Poppleton asked the finch, whose name was Patrick. "Certainly," said Patrick. Poppleton was glad his icicles were knocked down. Icicles always melted, but a new friend would stay. And there's Poppleton with Patrick, and they're going to eat dinner together. So Poppleton lost his icicles, but he made a new friend, and he got a new fence. Okay, now this one is called The Bust. Winter always made Poppleton creative. One winter he built a pagoda out of ice cream sticks. Another winter he hooked a rug. Another winter he painted stars on all of his floors. So there he is building the pagoda and making his hooked rug and painting stars on his floors. Now it was time to be creative again. What shall I make this winter? Poppleton thought. He looked out his window and saw Cherry Sue in her house. "I know," said Poppleton. "I'll make a bust of Cherry Sue." Poppleton went to the art store and bought some clay. Then he started molding Cherry Sue's head. I can't remember what Cherry Sue's hair looks like," said Poppleton. So there he is, thinking about how he's going to make the bust of Cherry Sue. He walked over to Cherry Sue's house and knocked on the door. "Hello, Poppleton," said Cherry Sue. "Hello," said Poppleton. "Come in," said Cherry Sue. "No, thanks. I just wanted to say hello," said Poppleton, looking closely at her head. He went back home and he started molding. Said Poppleton. "I can't remember what Cherry Sue's eyes look like." He walked over to Cherry Sue's and knocked on the door. "Yes," said Cherry Sue. Poppleton looked deeply into Cherry Sue's eyes. "Nice to see you. Goodbye," said Poppleton. He went back home and he started molding. What do you think Cherry Sue is thinking now? Said Poppleton. "I can't remember what Cherry Sue's nose looks like." He walked over to Cherry Sue's and knocked on the door. "You again," said Cherry Sue. Poppleton stared at her nose. She tweaked his. "Ow," said Poppleton, "you tweaked my nose." "Because you're making me crazy," said Cherry Sue. "I'm only trying to make a bust of your head," said Poppleton. "Really?" Cherry Sue said. "I can't remember what you look like," Poppleton said, rubbing his nose. "I'll get my coat," said Cherry Sue. She tweaked his nose. She followed Poppleton back to his house. She sat very still while he molded. It took 5 hours, but when the bust was done, it looked just like Cherry Sue. "Sorry I tweaked your nose," she told Poppleton, and she gave it a little kiss. And there is the bust of Cherry Sue, and it does look an awful lot like Cherry Sue. She was willing to sit with him and let him look at her so that he could make it. He should have just asked to start with, right? The sleigh ride. It was a very snowy day, and Poppleton felt like a sleigh ride. He called his friend Cherry Sue. "Would you like to go for a sleigh ride?" Poppleton asked. "Sorry, Poppleton, I'm making cookies," said Cherry Sue. So there's Poppleton asking her, and she can't do it. She's making cookies. Poppleton called his friend Hudson. "Would you like to go for a sleigh ride?" Poppleton asked. "Sorry," said Hudson, "I'm baking a cake." Remember, Hudson is a mouse. Poppleton called his friend Fillmore. "Would you like to go for a sleigh ride?" Poppleton asked. "Sorry," said Fillmore, "I'm stirring some fudge." He just can't find anybody to go for a sleigh ride with him. None of his friends are free. Poppleton was so disappointed. He couldn't find one friend for a sleigh ride, and besides that, they were all making such good things to eat. He sat in front of his window feeling very sorry for himself. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. There, he feels so sad. Surprise! There stood all of Poppleton's friends with cookies and cake and fudge and presents. "Happy birthday, Poppleton!" He had forgotten his own birthday. Everyone ate and laughed and played games with Poppleton. They were all making those goodies for him. Then just before midnight, they all took him on a sleigh ride. The moon was full and white, the stars twinkled, the owls hooted in the trees. Over the snow went the sleigh filled with Poppleton and all of his friends. There they go, on the night of his big birthday. Poppleton didn't even make a birthday wish. He had everything already. He had all of his friends. That's really what he needed, wasn't it? And that is the end of the book. And I hope you enjoyed Poppleton in Winter. So we'll read some more Poppleton books. And this is Grandma Carla, and I love you.